All right. Good afternoon. Usually it's in the morning, but good afternoon. You're on the Get Busy Livin Podcast, and I'm Dr. Scott from Six Sense Acupuncture in the north of Brisbane, Australia. And we have a wonderful guest today, and that is Jacalyn Price, and she is in Sydney. Thank you so much for Newcastle. Oh, come on, Novocastrians. It's a couple of hours away, isn't it? A couple of hours away from Sydney. So, in the north of Sydney. So, thank you so much, Jacalyn, for joining us today. Much appreciated for your time, and thank you so much again. So much appreciated to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
So you have had a very interesting past, and I can't wait to get into that. So, but first of all, I'll start off. So, tell us, Jacalyn, what gets you out of bed every day?
Well, waking up initially, you're glad to be alive because not everybody wakes up. And the fact that I can talk to anybody I know and say, look, what water are you drinking? Are you keeping hydrated? Because a lot of illness happens when you're not hydrated properly. And we have the solution with our water. And I just love to share it because it makes a big difference in people's lives.
That's exactly right. Thank you so much for bringing that up, because what percentage are we made up of water? What us beings, what are we made up of water? What's that?
75%.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a fairly big chunk of our body. So the better quality water, obviously, that would make sense.
Absolutely.
The better our health will be. Does that sound right, Jacalyn?
That certainly sounds right. And people don't realise the importance of keeping hydrated, and a lot of illness happens when people are dehydrated, and they don't realise it by just having water, and not every water, because like your tap water, bottled water, it just sits in your stomach, sloshing around, and it doesn't hydrate your body properly.
That's exactly right. Thank you so much, Jacalyn. Not all water is created equal, correct?
That's right.
And the more that we bastardize, but when I say we, as in the human race, we screw with our water, and this is the problem. So tell us all about that, please, Jacalyn.
Well, the company is a Nagic, and we have the Kangen water systems and other products. And I share my water with lots of people and say, look, what water are you drinking? I usually test the water if they're local. It could be acidic. It might be full of chlorine. You don't know. And if it's not an antioxidant, you're not having healthy cells. So sharing the water, they get to realise they're getting the health benefits. And then they're ready then to purchase a K8 machine for themselves and enjoy all the benefits of the machine. Apart from healthy drinking water, you got the 2.5 pH to help you if you've got a bit of a cold or bronchitis. That's why I purchased my machine. I had bronchitis. I couldn't shift for 12 months. And Mark was helping me, and I shared my NBN and mobile phone plan with him. And he said, what's wrong? I said, look, I can't shift this bronchitis. He said, there's a solution, and it's water. I said, what? How could water fix it? Well, you don't know what you don't know. And I haven't looked back since I've had my machine.
Yeah, exactly right. So you've had asthma for most of your life, is that right?
Oh, bronchial asthma, but on and off. But, with a lot of stress going on with Dad, trying to get him into a care home and family issues, and it just sort of caught up with me, I think, when it all got sorted. So it just hit me big time.
Yeah, fair enough. Stressful. It's not our friend. That's right. It can constrict the respiratory system. So yeah, tell us more about your introduction. Well, actually, so you write books too. You got a few happening.
Absolutely.
We'll get into
I have
water.
quite a few out now. There's probably 6, nearly 7 in the pipeline, all done. I've 2 in the pipeline and the rest are done. So initially I was in with a networking group getting coaching, and he just said, would you like to co-author with me? I said, yes. As Richard Branson says, you say yes, work out how to do it later. So that brought me to my first book with Matt Morris, and that was Breakthrough Leadership with Jacalyn Price. I'm in the book with 29 other leading experts, and I'm on the front cover with Matt Morris. Like, how good's that?
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, that's so true. A lot of people say that. They say you just say yes, and yeah, it'll come to you later. So yeah, much appreciated, Jacalyn.
And
That's
synchronicity,
fantastic.
like saying yes, and that I joined an authors group, and that led me to the next phase of books with Linda Sunshine West and Sally Green, and there's 4 more books done and 2 more in the pipeline with that one. And when people realise you've done a book, they said, "Would you like to co?" It's never ending. It's so exciting.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's and that opens up the doors to other authors as well, I suppose, and ghostwriters,
That's
and
right.
so you can give information about that. So your most recent book, you've actually given some information about water. So tell us about that. Tell us about what
Yeah,
you
the
wrote about.
latest book was with the Easy Way Network, so I'm co-authoring in that, and I have a whole chapter on the importance of hydration and why you shouldn't have bottled water and what's the problem with your tap water, what's coming through it. There's always chemicals coming through, could be chlorine as well. People don't realise how dangerous it is to be showering in chlorine, especially for asthmatics. They're breathing in the chlorine fumes and it's going into their lungs and they come out gasping for air, not knowing why.
Yes. So why? Why, Jacalyn?
Now we
Why?
have a
Why?
solution
Yeah,
to
that's right.
help you by having the Anespa Spa unit in their
Yes.
bathroom that eliminates all those toxins coming through. They can shower without being stressed out and having trouble with their breathing.
Well, that's yeah. I think you're what I'm trying to get at is that chlorine closes up the airways, and
Yes,
this is the issue. That's when they drink or bathe in um, the chlorinated water, which comes out of our taps. I might
that's
add,
right.
and that restricts our breathing. So, and it absorbs so quickly into our skin. Is that right,
Like
Jacqueline?
every 10 minutes you shower, you're absorbing a litre of chlorine in your body. And like where I
Yeah.
live, the chlorine is so high when I did the pH, it's bright yellow. I thought, I'm not showering or drinking this water. And people
Yeah.
don't realise they don't know what's in their water.
Yeah. That's exactly right. So that's and also chlorine has a lot to do with water retention. So people get
Yes.
swollen hands and swollen ankles. They wonder why. They go to the doctor and the doctor can't explain it. It's because they're just not told. They're just not. This is
Well,
not
they don't do much
explained to them.
education on health when they're doing
No.
all their doctor's practice and depending on their field, but there might be a week's education. Well, there's a lot involved and you just can't learn it all in a week.
When you say just a week, you mean nutrition. So that includes water. Yeah.
That's correct, yes. And
Yeah.
they don't
So
realise, like, a lot of them haven't even heard of Kangen water and the importance of it. Like, I've
yeah.
just been to Brisbane and I went to the Gold Coast and I've caught the bus then into town and there was a young Japanese fella beside me. I thought, whoa, this is an opportunity. So I had to talk to him. He comes
Yes.
over for snowboarding because he teaches that in Japan. He
Yeah.
hadn't heard of the Kangen water in Japan,
Oh,
one of the
really?
younger fellas. I thought, wow.
Yeah.
So I showed him our website and he says, wow, I don't realise how the importance of it. So we're keeping in touch and I'm sharing him with more information on how once he goes back home, he too can have his own Kangen water system.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's because that's where that's where the Kangen water, well, the ionizer comes from. It is a medical device. Is that right in
That's
Japan?
correct. And it's 50 years this year. In June, we're celebrating, and I'm going over to Okinawa with quite a few Australians and many others. There'll be over 5,000 there for this special event on the 22nd of June.
Right, 22nd of June. Okay.
Mm.
Well, that's a date to put in the diary. So yeah, that's only a couple of weeks away, a couple of months away, I should say.
A couple of months away now, like the
Uh,
year's just flying by.
That is, it is. So that's excellent. 40 years, is it? Or 50?
50 years. 50
50
years.
years. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because it became a medical device in the early 70s.
Yes.
So
Initially, it was in the hospitals, and they said, now, can we have something for the household? Something, a smaller unit that the average
yeah,
householder can just put at their sink or put in their shower. And even there's a Yukon, which is a turmeric supplement. It's
yeah,
very healthy as well. It has lots of supplements in it. So all you need is your K8 machine, your Nespa, and your turmeric. You don't need anything else because everything's provided for you.
Yeah, that's correct. So tell us about so who invented the Enagic machine? Do you know that?
It was a Japanese fella. I'm not sure of his name now. He's not long passed on, but 50 years ago it was made for the hospitals. And because they're massive units over there for a hospital base, and then everyone saw the benefits and they said, look, we want it now for the household. So then they made up the K8, and everything's made in Japan and then sent around the world because it's specially made, and the titanium plates in there. That's how they ionize the water. So you have electrolyzed reduced water, which is a negative charge, which is so important for your body because you're drinking tap water, it hits your stomach and repels and sloshes and takes a long time to get into the body. Whereas our water, into the stomach, straight into the intestines and all your cells. So they're very happy cells.
Happy. So that
Yes.
is Dr. Shinya. Dr.
Yes.
Shinya, he's the one who created the Enagic machine, and he's a gastroenterologist. So and
Yes.
also oncology. He's into cancer research. So he had great results with colon cancer. Sorry,
Yes.
just by using the water, just by introducing the Kangen water into into his studies. So so tell us a little bit. So how does the so what tell us the quality of the water. So tell us about the water itself and what the Kangen machine does to the water.
Well, with the Kangen machine, there's 8 plates in that machine. And when it comes through your tap, the 8 plates deionize that water. So it will come from your tap positive charged. And I've just tested our water here. It's probably a positive 350 millivolts. We have a special machine to test that. The Kangen water is a negative 800 to 1,000 millivolts. And that's the importance of the negative charged water going into your cells, having healthy cells, and it detoxes you from, if you've had COVID or any other illness, it will detox your body from all these chemicals and problems you've had in your life. And once you're detoxed, you feel so much healthier.
That's exactly right. So when you talk about negatively charged and positively charged, that's your oxidation. Is that right? So
that's correct. Yes.
So the way I remember oxidation is that rust, for instance, is oxidation of metal.
Yes.
Is that right? And also, well, obviously, if it does that to metal, then it's going to do something to its cells. Is that right, too?
Yeah, well, see, the cells are like if you've had an illness, there's a lot of problems in the cells, and having the negative charge go in there, it will detox those unhealthy cells, unhealthy organs. So you're getting rid of all that, whatever problem you have in your body, detoxing you. It might take a little while, depending on how long you've had the illness or problem. Like, it only took just over a week to fix my bronchitis. So if I can get fixed in a week with bronchitis, it wouldn't stop. It's just amazing what it can do for everyone else with. I've had people I know that have had melanoma. They've treated it specially with the 11.5, then the 2.5, and then the beauty water. There's no more melanoma for that person.
Yeah. So that it also helps with skin disorders as well. That's right.
That's correct. Yes. So if you have a skin cancer on you, just soak it in the 11.5 initially, 2.5, and then the beauty water, and they all disappear. You're getting rid of any cancerous that might develop even more severe into melanomas. And I had a friend with lupus. I've shared the water with her for months. Her lupus has improved out of sight. She used to get a lot of scratches from the puppy scratching her skin, getting all these bruises. We just treated it with the 11.5 and all the bruises disappeared. So she's very happy.
So so tell us, you're throwing these numbers at us. So tell us a bit about that. Tell us what you're talking about when you're saying 11.5.
The drinking water with the K8 machine, you start off with, excuse me, hang on, I'll get a drink.
You need some water.
Been a long drive from Dad's.
Me too.
You start off with the 8.5 pH for a couple of weeks, depending on the person. Then you go to 9 and then 9.5. So your body gets used to the different pHs, because even on the 8.5, it will detox you. It doesn't matter what problem you may have had in the past. It detoxes your body, getting rid of all the problems you've had. And once you get to the 9.5, you've got so much more energy and you're healthier. You get yourself out in the sunshine, enjoy the sunshine as well, which is so important. And ground yourself every day, going for a walk in the grass or walk on the tiles. Ground yourself. So you're getting that earth to earth feeling.
Yeah, that's very good. So you're talking about the pH of water, is that right? When you say
that's correct, yes.
9.5. And what settings does the K8 Kangen machine have?
We have the 8.5, the 9, and the 9.5, your drinking water.
So you can
then
drink
you have
those.
You can drink all
three.
those.
And
The 2.5.
they're alkaline, is that? And they're alkaline, is that right?
They're alkalized water. It's alkalized. There's a difference between alkaline and alkalized.
Yep.
Alkaline water will have a positive charge. Alkalized water will have a negative charge.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, that's good. I learned something today. And so, tell us about the others.
The 2.5, if you have a sore throat or something going on, you can gargle and swallow it, and that's no problems at all. The 11.5 is all your cleaning products for the household. You don't need to buy any more cleaning products. Breathing in all the toxins from when you're spraying chemicals everywhere, it does all your cleaning. And there's a beauty water as well. The 6.0 is a beauty water. So if you're taking medications, use it at the neutral pH. And that way the medications get absorbed in your body slowly and you get the full benefits of the medications.
Yeah, so there's also a 7.0. So we use that for...
That's correct, yeah. That's a neutral water.
For infants and children. So you can give this water to anyone. So you just got to change the pH.
Just depending on the size. If it's a baby or whatever, you just go with the other pH, not the 8.5s.
Yeah, just go with the lower pH.
Yes.
Because that's neutral. 7.0 is neutral.
Yes, that's neutral.
So tell us a bit more about the 2.5, because that's very acidic.
It is, but it'll, like if you've got a nasal problem or a problem with sinus, you use it as a nasal spray, and that'll get rid of the bugs up your nose, and then gargle it, and that'll get rid of all the bugs in your throat, because ear, nose, and throat all go together when you've got a problem.
So so bacteria and viruses don't like the acidic states.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah,
and you can drink like 20, 30 mils. It doesn't matter. But it's getting rid of that bugs that are like from your throat down. It just sits there until you decide to get rid of it. And by gargling, say, for 30 seconds, then swallowing, at least it's in your mouth, getting rid of all the problems in your mouth bacteria, on your tongue, and then going down.
But don't
and after a couple of minutes, just have a drink of the other 8 or 9.5 one.
Yeah, so neutralise it, So
yes.
You can't continually
You're killing the bugs, and then you're enjoying the water.
Yeah. That's right. So it's the same with you when you're applying it on the skin. You use the 2.5 to kill the bugs and open up the pores with the 11. Is that right?
Yes. Clean it with the 11, and that opens it up. 2.5 to kill the bugs, and when that's done, just put the beauty water on, so it's a nice clean environment.
Yeah, that's right. So
like a 3-step process.
Yeah, that's it. That's awesome. And also you can.
My dad's 93 on the 2nd of April. I take the water to his care home, and he drinks the water. He's not a water drinker, but he drinks my water.
Yeah, because it number one, it makes you feel hydrated.
Yes.
Makes you actually feel it, and also it doesn't taste. It tastes better. Just tastes better. It's easy to drink.
A lot of the elderly don't like drinking water.
Yeah, because
and you see all in the care homes, they're all dehydrated, and a lot of them get sick very quickly because of dehydration. They don't realise the importance of keeping hydrated. And normal tap water they issue all the care homes, they're not hydrating these people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So that and this is what Dr. Shinya was trying to create, that we could help with the elderly.
That's
to
right.
get them
It's so
hydrated because
important.
they're so dehydrated as they get older. The other thing is, I just want to ask you. So, if it's negatively charged, would that make it easier to absorb?
Absolutely. The negative charge, like when you drink your normal tap water, it's a positive charge, and it just
Yeah,
kicks into your stomach and you slosh around, and it takes
yeah,
a long time to get into the intestines, into the cells.
yeah,
The
yeah,
negative charge water, it's attracted and goes straight into the
yeah,
intestines, straight into all your cells and all your organs. So everything's a lot healthier.
yeah. So yeah, that's why you can get a little brain spike after a minute because
That's right.
the absorption can be instantaneous. The 30 seconds to a minute, you can get the
Yes,
absorption, and that goes across the blood-brain barrier and also the
that's
central brain.
correct. And it gives you more energy. Like you can just continue on. Like I'm busy
Yeah,
life with a lot I do with all my networking and traveling everywhere, like for events and awards nights. I take my water wherever I go. And when I
yeah.
went to San Diego in January, because I won a trip to a prosperity camp with our authors group worth 7,000, I thought I'm going. So I took my machine with me to San
Yeah,
Diego,
yeah,
and
yeah,
at the Airbnb, all the water was full of chlorine. So they're all
yeah,
sharing and drinking chlorine. You don't know
yeah,
what's there. People don't know what they don't know.
yeah. That's exactly right. So that's fantastic. Um, so yeah, so tell us a little bit more about your experiences also with other people that you've helped with the water.
There's mainly local ones. My hairdresser. I took some out to her, and she's been sick since having injections. We won't put the name to it. She's
Yep.
been quite sick with heart problems and things, and she's not a water drinker. And I said, look, I'll leave you the water. She has a cancer on her leg, and she'd just been bitten by a spider. I said, put the 2.5 on that when you change the dressing. Put the 2.5 on the spider bite, and I want you to sip the water. Just drink it slowly. And she's doing that. Another friend had gastric band surgery, and they can't drink a lot. So I gave her 10 litres of water. Within a week, she could drink a full glass without stopping, and she can feel it more hydrated in her body. So she's just on a cruise at the moment. So I'm excited when she comes back. I said, if you're on the cruise, always boil that water. Don't drink any bottled water because it's going to muck your system up again.
Yeah. That brings up another good point. So tell us about bottled water because this is a
Bottled water,
classic.
like
This is a classic.
when you hold your bottle, you crinkle it, and you're getting all those nanochemicals out of that plastic, and you're ingesting those chemicals. Like it's
Yeah.
frightening, really, if you don't know. And even like when I was in San Diego, a fellow bought a big bottle and he started to crinkle it. I said, do you know what you're doing? He said, no. He said, if you're buying that big bottle, pour it into a very hard plastic one or another type of bottle to have in the cab when you're doing your Uber driving. Don't keep that big bottle crinkling that bottle all the time. And at a networking event the other night where everyone has a drink on the networking, she's got this plastic bottle, crinkle, crinkle. I said, you know what's in that? And she put the bottle down quick smart.
She knows what you're going to say.
Yes.
So yeah, there actually is a documentary about water on Netflix, and what cracks me up is that 60% of the market is owned by Nestle. Nestle owns 60% of the bottled water in the
Wow.
world.
And bottled water is not regulated, so it can come from
Yeah,
anywhere. You wouldn't even know what's in it. And the bottled water that has the bubbles in it, it's worse still. Like it's a pH of about 4, very acidic. And nearly all the bottled waters I've tested is acidic or just a slight alkaline. And people are drinking, and all your soft drinks are all acidic. People don't
yeah.
realize what they're doing to their bodies, drinking acid all the time.
So yeah, so Nestle. What they do is they buy our water off us, off our councils, and what they do is they reverse osmosis the water, so they make it dead. They kill it,
That's
and
right.
then they
That's
and
no
then
good
they
either.
add their own little formula into that dead water. So and then they bring the pH up to 7, chemically, obviously. So they can't see
Yes.
any other way of how they do that. Usually they use baking soda. So
It depends. You can.
yeah, so then they sell it back to us. Yeah, in these crappy bottles, and yeah, for like 6 times the price of what they buy it for.
That's right. And people realise they think they're drinking bottled water to be healthy, but they're not.
So they don't even realize that they're selling water to Nestle and other companies. And then they're selling it back to us for 6 times the price of what. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And also the same thing. If you test the water, it's positively charged. It's not negatively
That's right.
charged.
And I've just
And
joined Sherry Leopold with the Wow Warrior magazine, Women of Worth. And I have 4 pages in that book, the March edition, on the importance of hydration, why you shouldn't be drinking bottled water, what's the problems with tap water. And I thought getting that out there to show everyone in that Wow Warrior magazine, everyone's going to be beneficial reading my chapter as well as everybody else that has a section in their book.
yeah. So that and yeah. So tell us what's the name. What's the name of that book actually?
It's called the Wow Warrior magazine, WOW, and WOW stands for Women of Worth. So there's probably, 30 or 40 in that magazine. Depends on, but I've got into the March magazine edition, which was really good. So it's out there everywhere for people to have a look at and read.
Yeah. And then also, I was going to ask you about there's something else I was going to. Oh, so bottled water. That's the other thing. Is if you are overseas, sometimes the locals will mess with the water, so they try and
Yes,
seal it up themselves. So just be careful if you're overseas. If you got your own Kangen KA, it doesn't matter because you can just use the
that's
tap
right.
water.
Take it
Use your own
wherever you
bottles.
go. If you go camping or you have a
Yeah,
caravan or a boat, you can always take them with you,
yeah,
put them on the boat and have it installed. And
yeah.
you've got the healthy water because you're pumping water into your tanks to drink. Where's it coming
Yeah.
from?
Yes, that's exactly right. And yeah, the other thing is it filters the water. So
Yes,
so even I've been to Thailand and the water is just absolutely crap. And I was always skeptical about the bottled water too because it didn't taste right either.
no, you
So
wouldn't know.
so who knows what they're putting in it? But yeah, it would make more sense just to take the K8 over with you and just connect it up to the taps over there, and then yeah, it filters the
That's
water.
right. You've always got fittings with you to take. And if there's
Yeah,
one that doesn't quite fit, you can just go to the local store and purchase a
yeah,
fitting so you can hook up the machine. And it's an easy hook up. Only takes a couple of minutes to connect the hoses and you're right to go.
that's it. And unlimited good quality water, which is
That's right.
fantastic.
And share it with everyone. I thought, oh,
Yeah,
wow, this tastes good.
yeah. Well, especially in those sort of countries, they wouldn't be used to having good quality water.
That's
They'd be
right.
used to having the garbage at the yeah. Well, they don't even reverse osmosis the water. So
And that's not good
could be
either, reverse osmosis. When I
no,
was
that's
in
what
San
it isn't.
Diego at the conference, they gave us bottled water and it was reverse osmosis. Okay, I had my kit with me. It was a pH about 4, very acidic.
Acidic,
And I
yeah.
showed the person that was presenting, I said, this is what we're drinking. He said, what?
Yeah, so and that comes back to soft drinks and soda water. Tell us about that as well.
Yeah. I've been testing like all the soft drinks and they're all been acidic. Every one of them about a 4 to 4.5 pHs. I haven't
Mhm.
tested the Coke yet. I've got to do a different strip to test the Coke, but people drink Coke. It's a good paint stripper. So what's it doing to your body?
Yeah, it's so acidic, and yeah, you're right. It takes how many glasses? So if you have one glass of Coke, how much Kangen water do you have to do to
Uh,
neutralize? Just neutralize
Depending
it,
on
not
how
put
much you drink, like and the body itself, you would need liters
Oh,
and
that's what I'm
liters to get
saying.
rid of all that acidity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you just had one glass of Coke,
glass. You probably
how
need a good litre or more, depending on the person, to get rid of all that acidity.
yeah, I think it's 18 glasses. You got to take
Mm.
18 glasses of Kangen water
Yeah.
just to neutralize it, just
That's
to bring
right.
it back to neutral to 7.0. That's not bringing it to 8.5 or 9.5. That's
And
just
people
to
don't realise what
7.0.
they're doing to their bodies, all these soft
Yeah,
drinks they're buying all the time and drinking.
and then
And
they
the
wonder why
children,
they
you
get
see them go
cancer.
hypo when they have all their soft drinks.
And then they wonder why they get cancer and these neurological
Yeah.
disorders. Yeah, it's just education. We just need to educate the
That's
public.
correct. That's why I love sharing, because people don't realise that buying bottled water, what it's doing to them, buying soft
Yeah,
drinks all the time.
yeah.
What's that soft drink doing to your body?
And same with soda water. Everyone seems to think
Oh, that's
soda
worse.
water's it's just as bad as the soft drinks
Yes.
because it's so acidic.
Yeah, it's about a 4 pH, the soda water.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very acidic.
Anything
Yeah.
carbonated. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's about educating people and saying, what water are you drinking? And if you're
That's
close, can I test the water for you? And just share some videos of how it helps and the difference between alkaline water and alkalized water, which our K8 machine does. There's a big difference. And I share that video to say, well, what's the difference? My water's alkaline. Well, it's not alkalized.
Yeah, and that brings me to also with sports drinks as well. They're not
Oh,
immune either.
no, they're worse still. The sports drinks, between lots of sugar and, acidic, what's it doing to these athletes? And there's a lot of top athletes that have their own K8 machine. They take their water with them, and it
Yeah,
improves their performance because they're hydrating properly, because they're
yeah.
doing marathons or whatever they're bike riding, keeping that hydration up, or they're so busy athletic, it's so important.
So recovery would be faster as well.
Absolutely, yes.
So they train harder so they can So because that's what it all comes back to recovery. That's all sports people know that it's yes, doing the hard yards, but recovery is the most important thing because then you can do it
That's
again.
correct.
Because it all
Yes,
comes back to repeating that action. And then each time you do it, you should do it better. And then the better and better you get at it. But it all comes back to your recovery. If your recovery is crap, then you can't do it as consecutively as you did previously.
that's
So
right. And the average athlete is just drinking normal water, wonder why
yeah,
they're so exhausted and not hydrating properly.
yeah, correct. And they won't have the energy as well.
No,
So and now that comes to so now you were talking more earlier about cleaning products. So that's the same with fruit and vegetables as well. So we
that's
can clean
correct.
with the
So
yeah.
everything I buy, fruit, vegetables, meat, even my eggs, I'll soak it in the 11.5 for about 10 minutes, and then I'll rinse it in the 8.5. And once you've done your meat, you can freeze it. Once it's clean, you can freeze it. But
Yeah,
everything, all the fruit and vegetables are sprayed, all the cattle are having chemicals fed to them, the chooks are
yeah,
having chemicals. Everything you buy to use, to eat, is all sprayed. Well, it used to be. Years ago, we had our own fruit gardens, have our own chooks. We didn't use any chemicals. Now everything's chemicals with fruit, veggies, name it. Everything is sprayed.
yeah, that's right. So that brings me into so you can clean your fruit and veg with
That's correct. You soak it in the 11.5 for 10 minutes.
yep,
And when you soak it, you see the colour of the tomatoes, all the water goes red. And when I do my onions, it's bright orange. All the stuff coming off my onions when I soak it. You don't realise what's coming off. And see, because it's oil-based, normal washing doesn't get that off because it's all oil-based. So the 11.5 gets rid of all the oil-based chemicals that are used.
yeah, because it's emulsifier. They can break up fats. Can break up solids. So yeah, and also your tomatoes as well. You can clean your lettuce, your tomatoes,
That's right.
all your
Everything you're
salads.
buying, you need to clean before you eat.
Yeah, and that's with the 11.5.
That's
Is that right?
correct. I do
Yeah,
even do my eggs. I soak it in
yeah,
11.5 for 10 minutes, give them a rinse in the 8.5 or 9.5, and wipe it over dry, and then put it in the fridge. Like my avocados, I cleaned mine before I went away. I had 2 left. Put them in the fridge while I went away. They were just as good when I opened up this morning to have breakfast.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously you can't drink 11.0, but 11.5.
You can drink it. You have to go right through to the 9.5. Some people drink it if they've got a problem. You still can drink it safely, the 11.5, but we don't talk about that till people are used to getting up to the 9.5.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is you can still drink it. You just can't have too much of it.
Yes, because it'll detox you pretty well.
Yeah, that's right. Well, everything is potentially detox.
Yes, getting rid of all the rubbish that's in your body from things you've been eating. If you go somewhere else and have a meal, you don't know how they've washed their fruit and veggies,
Yeah, so that's exactly right. So, that also brings me to absorption. So I know in my practice I use herbs and I help patients. So I give out the Kangen with them. So and there is a reason why I do that. I was hoping that you could explain that to us, please.
Well, if you're doing a treatment on someone, to be hydrated initially, it helps that treatment beneficial for the body, and then it's important after the treatment to have more water for hydration as well, because it doesn't matter what you're having with a chiropractor or whatever, you're still dehydrating after the treatments, because it just sends your body, like you get all these things done at a chiropractor or acupuncture, it does a lot to your body to recover. So having that importance of before and after the hydration, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. So and what I was trying to say is that with herbs, the herbs that I give my patients, I give them the Kangen with it. Why? Because it actually helps the herbs to absorb better into the stomach, into the intestines, because the water helps to transfer the food, the herbs, into the intestine and then convert into what is needed for whatever the body is requiring. So that's why that's why I think of that tea test that they use in those demonstrations, I should say, where they get the tea bag and they dab it in the 3 types of water. So tell us about that, Jacalyn.
So with the tea bag, you put it in normal water, it won't change unless it's heated. You put it in the Kangen water, just about instantly it changes colour, because the importance of that oxidation of that water.
Yeah,
you don't think about how can that change colour.
Yeah, well, it opens up the pores of the leaf of the tea, the leaf of the green tea. So, whereas the tap water doesn't do that because it's so positively charged.
That's right.
It's harder for the tap water to open up the pores of the green tea leaf, because at room temperature it finds it very difficult to do that because it is so positively charged. Whereas with the Kangen water, it's easy because it's negatively charged and can draw out the goodness out of the.
That's right, and it's almost instantly you can see the difference.
Yeah, correct. It's almost goes instantaneously greeny, that greeny color that green tea provides.
Yes.
So it helps with absorption. So not only you hydrating instantaneously, but also it helps other products, other foods. So if you're taking supplements, that's obviously going to help you absorb those supplements as well.
That's correct, yes.
So that it'll be easier and also better for anyone who's taking supplements to absorb it better.
Yeah, that's the importance, because if you're not taking the right water for absorption for your vitamins and minerals, you're not getting the benefit of it.
That's exactly right. So tell us about. So I'll go back to what were you doing before you got into Kangen water?
I have a business called ACN, All Communications Network. So I help the average household and the business owner save on their bills, and it's a free comparison. And for the business owner, it's for merchant services as well. because they pay a lot of fees for their EFTPOS machines. And I've helped lots of businesses save a lot of money. And we're out doing the banks 90% of the time. And we also have Travel Club, which when you're traveling, like accommodation, you're saving on the travel costs. Like when I go for my awards nights, I'm saving up to 50% for accommodation. And we have house and contents insurance as well for the household and for landlord insurance.
Yeah, gotcha. So, and yeah, you can, yeah. So insurance as well, and that's gas as well. You
Yes,
help with gas,
electricity, your gas, mobile phones, your NBN.
yeah, NBN. Yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, I suppose that would mean that you'd have be very good to what do you call it? Collaborate with
That's
real
correct.
estate
Yes,
agents, with real
yes.
estate agents.
Because people are moving into their homes, so I can have their services set up for when they move
Yeah,
in, or if they're moving house, and it's a different area. We'll just see which any provider is better for that area, and which mobile provider is better, because some areas are like only Vodafone will work, or Optus will work, or Telstra will work. So work out where they're staying, what's best for them, and work out the plan to suit them.
yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. So, what else were you doing before you got into ACN?
Carer for my parents for a long, long time. And before
Yeah,
that, I worked in pathology for 25 years.
pathology.
Yes. Hematology
Oh
and cross
wow.
matching.
Oh really? Okay.
Yes.
Did you do any lab work?
Yeah, did a lot of lab work. Initially, like everything was individual. And then as technology came in, machines did a lot of the work. But we still looked
Yeah,
under the microscopes for problems with cells. And if we found a problem, we just talk to the higher up person in there, and they'd have another look and then do a diagnosis. Because even though we could see what it was up to them to do a diagnosis. Any problems we find with a cancer or anything else, or if
yeah,
someone had an infection, the white cells would increase. If they're anemic, the red blood cells would decrease. So you can always tell from reading the blood work what's going on.
yeah, yeah. Right, right. It'd be interesting to see the blood work with people who are drinking the Kangen. That'd be a great little experiment,
Yes,
especially if you're doing
I'm due for another test for my thyroid. So Mark says,
that.
go and get it done, see what your thyroid's doing now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, exactly right. So that so yeah, you did it for a long time. So that um, have you ever heard of Giardia or Entamoeba
Yes, I've
histolytica?
heard of it. Yes.
You didn't deal much with those bugs.
No, that was in another department.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So it's more hemo. So your
More
platelet count.
hematology, yes, and blood
Yeah,
transfusion. We get the blood ready for operations or traumas and things.
yeah, rightio. Okay. So they're coming into emergency and the
Yes.
likes. Okay. Did you work at a hospital as well? Or?
Yeah, at the Royal Newcastle Hospital
Yeah, gotcha.
until the earthquake hit. Then we moved out to John Hunter Hospital.
Oh, right.
So once the
You had them.
earthquake hit the hospital, it was diagnosed, said, well, it's basically not safe to be here. So they transferred us all out to John Hunter Hospital. And now it's all developed into units and everything else, all that land now. They pulled
Yeah,
the
right.
buildings down and redeveloped it all.
Got rid of the hospital and put up housing. It's a
And
classic.
I loved it there because it was right on the beach. So you could hear the waves coming in all the time. And at lunchtime,
Yeah,
I'd go for a jog down to the bars and jog back and have lunch. And it was just a great ride on the beach.
yeah, yeah, right. It's lovely place, Newcastle. Lovely place. I've been
Yes.
there a few times. So yeah, and um, so you would have had. Did you do much research into blood disorders or anything like that?
We did
Just
a
as a
fair bit back then, but it was left up to, the higher people, the pathologist itself, to do the research. We just
yeah,
worked there to test all the bloods that came in, get the blood ready for transfusions, and that kept us busy all the time. And if we found something that was a problem or we weren't sure what it was something that was wrong with that patient, we'd say, look, this is what I've found. Can you have another look at it? And then work it out from there.
yeah, gotcha. All right. All right, so it looks like you've given us your ideal client. So I'll move on to the last one. We've done pretty well. We're up to 45 minutes. So
Wow,
I'll,
time flies when you're having fun.
yeah, it's when you're having fun. Yeah. So I'll move into the. Is there anything else you wanted to say about um, the water or the books that you have written in the past?
Part of it I want to cover too, like while I was working at the hospital, I had a fall and injured myself, and I damaged the sympathetic nervous system. So I spent the
Yeah.
next 12 years in a wheelchair. And I thought, I'm not
Oh, did
stopping
you?
here. So wheelchairs, mobility, walking frames, crutches. And I finally got off that, but using the power of the subconscious mind can get you
Yeah.
through anything. I learned to control the pain because nerve pain is one of the worst pains you can have. And controlling
Yes.
that pain, and I share that story in my first book and even some of the other books, the power of the subconscious mind to get you through problems that come along. Sometimes it might be a minor problem, but that's the tip of the iceberg and they just can't cope anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. So that's exactly right. They say if you want to take away a man's life, you take away his legs. But you're right. It all comes back to mindset and
That's right.
being persistent, and never giving up. Um,
Like I was lucky I was able to get through that, but some people don't. They're just left in wheelchairs. But a lot of them move on and they go into Olympics and do everything in a wheelchair. So they've got that
yeah,
mindset. I can't
yeah,
move with my legs, but I can do something else. It's changing that perspective of I can do this.
yeah. I got a friend. He lost a leg in an accident, and yeah, he went on to play for Australia in the
Yes,
Olympics. So
it's amazing.
yeah,
Put your mind to it, you can do it.
yeah. Well, that's right. If you got a strong mind, then that all comes back to mindset. So that's pushing yourself as well. So all right, I think we'll move on to the last question. So tell us, Jacalyn, what ideas or rules would you go by to attain lifelong longevity?
Well, start your day with gratitude, end your day with gratitude. Not everybody wakes up every morning. You're grateful you've woken up. And then share your story with people you meet. And if you're out, share a smile. It's contagious because you don't know what's going on in people's lives. They're upset or they're worried about something. And when you share a smile, they smile back and they forget about their worry for that instant and think, oh, if I smile more, I'll feel better. And laugh for no reason. Laughter's the best medicine.
That's exactly right. And thank you so much for your time today, Jacalyn. We got up to the 50-minute mark, so well done. And
Thank you so much.
if you could please put your details in the three platforms that I've got it on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I'll get my VA to give you those details, and also tell us about the books that you've written and
Okay.
or in the process of, or have concluded and just waiting to publish. That'd be much appreciated. So people could reach out to you and talk to you about that, and obviously
That'd be
about
great.
your two businesses, the ACN and also the Kangan
And
Water. That'd
magic.
be
Yes.
magic. That'd be appreciated as well. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
Jacalyn.
much. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I've loved it.
Yeah, this is. I've been looking forward to this podcast because yeah, water is very important and it's a passion of mine as well. So
And you
thank
can't
you,
live without
Jacalyn.
water. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're 75% of it. So yeah, very important in our lives. All right, thanks again,
Thanks,
Jacalyn,
Scott.
and
See you, mate.
you.
Thank you.
You've been watching the Get Busy Living podcast. I'm Dr. Scott and the wonderful Jacalyn Price. You have a great day, guys, and have a happy Easter. I should say, have a happy Easter. Thank you.